It's only because I'm out in public. Don't want to take a shot at me. Just 'cause the riot has erupted. And that blue light devil's there. 'Cause he's breaking out the air. See the tears of the crowd while the man holds them down. Hold that burning.
The tears, mostly from, I would say, tear gas, some from anger, some from sadness. The tears of the crowd as it was dispersed last night, riot number 2 in 1 month on the south side.
And tears of that little baby that was in the car when they were shooting it up.
Oh, man.
She was just freaking.
Yes, and then there was another kid who was a teenager. He was covered with glass cut after his car, or the car that he was in, his mother's car, was shot at.
His mother was screaming into the TV, his father's black.
Why are you shooting at me?
He's not Puerto Rican.
Could everyone please have the papers ready?
48 after the Ron Show. Hello, Andre, you're on.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good, Andre, what's up?
I'd just like to make 2 quick points.
Sure.
Right? I've been listening to this debate going on for a couple of weeks now.
Uh-huh.
First of all, racism is relative to where you are. It doesn't matter if it's this country or whatever country in the world. People are going to find some reason, right, to oppress one group or another.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on which side of the oppressed group that you're on, whether or not you're going to be angry. Bennington, you're Irish, you know.
Oh, it's
right?
exactly true.
You know? And Diaz, what, you're Cuban descent?
Right.
What about Batista coming in, cutting off genitals and people's heads and people, rioting then?
Well, they were
Luckily, I kept
criminals.
mine.
They were criminals.
I kept mine.
Now, I understand the kid, had a criminal record, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think his record would be if he was a white kid, he'd be called a troubled teen,
He was a troubled teen as a black, too.
I'm just saying.
You said troubled teen isn't a criminal.
No, he's a criminal. He had a criminal background. He had a criminal record, okay? He's not an innocent kid.
Criminal record. Now, imagine if you had a friend or a nephew or something like that probably stole a couple of cars and had been in and out of trouble or whatever and so forth, but you knew him, like Bennington is saying, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily being a bad kid, but he just made an error in judgment, and unfortunately he got 5 bullets in the head for it.
All right, Andre, this kid who was a troubled teen, as you put it, and had a criminal background, was trying to run over a cop, would not stop. He was in a stolen car. What makes you think this is just a kid that made a couple of mistakes?
He wasn't trying to kill the
He
cop.
wasn't trying to kill him.
He was trying to run the cop over.
He was trying to get out of it.
Kill him. I think just like Bennington said, he was just trying to get away.
Well, the grand jury disagrees with you.
I know that.
I know, because they're all white, I know.
I'm not going to say it because they're all white.
I will.
Because they, unlike Bennington, what he's saying, they don't live in that situation. I don't live in that situation. I'm black, and I don't live in that situation, but I have the ability to think objectively about it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Andre.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Andre.
See ya. Ray, you're on the air.
Very intelligent young man.
Hello. Hello, Ray.
Kay, you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. It looked like Ray. Kay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment about what was said about these kids being in this environment and that they're always treated so badly and that's why they react the way they do to the police and things like that.
Go ahead.
I'm a high school teacher, and I spent my first year teaching in an environment with kids like this, and I'm not saying that these children don't have a right to feel like, yeah, there are some not so good things that happen because of the environment that they're in, because that's very true. But at the same time, I saw time and time again these kids try to use that as an excuse.
You're Michelle Pfeiffer.
I see her more as Mrs. Rhodes.
So you say they get opportunities and they still...
And they don't do their homework?
Well, no, I stopped trying to give them homework.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Why would they come to class without a pen? That's what gets me about these young people nowadays.
But they would get in trouble, and then they would say, well, it's just because I'm a black kid. And I'm like, look, you messed up. It has nothing to do with what you look like. It has to do with what you did.
So you speak their language? You tell them English. They're not being fly?
I actually did pick up a little bit of it. It turns out that apparently the only way to communicate with them effectively is to start using the words they use.
Kick the malingo with them.
That's right.
What I would do...
Nicely in the end.
Now, did you get out of there?
Yeah, I sure did.
What I would do is try to drop some of the names like Young MC to them.
Then
tell them
shot.
It's time to bust and move.
Hammer time.
Hello, Bobby, you're on.
That's a good song.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
I don't really understand. I mean, I know the Blue-Eyed Devil came down there and shot one of them, but it seems like if they want to be angry, and I didn't catch that group's name.
Uhuru. It's
horse.
Ururu.
I want to know where they're or I mean, it's a...
Ruh-roh.
black-on-black genocide. I mean, their leading cause of death for black males is black males. It's not the white cops. I mean, it seems sort of displaced to ride over one white cop shooting a black man when they're killing each other faster than anything, faster than cancer or car accidents.
Black-on-black crime. It is, I don't know about that statistic, the number one killer of young black males.
It's young black males.
I don't know why you would say don't pay attention just one kid anyway. I mean, it's I don't know. I'm not gonna. You can't tell people. All I can say to the young black people out there is please entertain us.
Peter, you're on the air.
Be like Urkel. He's funny.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah, this incident that y'all were talking about, you remember the Rodney King incident where they had 2 more people in the car with him and nothing happened to them? They got out and put their hands on the hood and everything?
And they didn't take a beating, okay? Well, the guy in the car with Tyron Lewis didn't take a beating. He was asking Tyron, stop, give it up.
He also said Tyron had never wanted to run people over. He just wanted to get out of there because he knew he was going to go to jail.
Right, he's also changed his testimony a couple of times. He has contradicted himself.
So what's that mean? You don't believe anything? Or I'm just asking, because I don't really know.
He contradicted his testimony, so what he said, you know, could or could not be true. May or may not be true. He's not a reliable witness is what I'm saying. Hello, Mike, you're on.
Yeah.
Hey.
I just want to let you guys know something happened at Deltona High School yesterday.
What's that?
A student slipped actually a large amount of LSD in a teacher's drink.
Mm-hmm.
And caused quite an uproar. She was like flipping out in class.
Yeah.
What happened to her?
Well, when I saw her, she was walking around the room looking for something, and then it was laying right on her desk. Her eyes were all bugging out of her head, and she said like.
Maybe you just hit her glasses.
Do you know who did it?
I don't think they know yet, but that's like assault, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I would think maybe even probably not aggravated assault, maybe attempted murder.
That'd be so wild if it was like literature class and she was like reading Poe's Telltale Heart.
One thing I
freak.
What you need to do is write it out. You got to put on music. If you got a strobe light, plug that in.
Hey Jeff.
Hey, man. No, to tell you the truth, they ought to give her a lava light, you know?
Yeah, I mean, anything just to fill up the time.
Anyways, I wanted to make a couple of points about the guy that's talking about the black guys only getting busted for crack and stuff. Like the judge said on TV, 99% of all child molestation and serial killers are white people, you know? Black people can have a premier crime. You know what I mean? And... Are you there?
Yeah, but what are you saying?
Okay.
We're here. We're just confused.
Hello, welcome to your premier crime. And number 2, you know, most white people deal behind closed doors, and the black people, they're out in the open advertising. You know what I mean?
All right, so they should be more secretive in their crime. Okay.
They've got to learn how to commit crimes. 55
after, we'll come back and do some movie reviews with our film critics, and we'd like to send Paulo out on the streets to see what the feeling is in the riot-torn community.
He may be, Ronnie, the one person that can pull this country back together.
He bridges the races together.
He was born white, not by his own choice. In his soul, he's a black man.
He's trapped in a white man's body, 55. I'm in it after Paulo is in the studio on the Ron and Ron Show, and we're going to talk some new movies. Before we start with the ones that are coming out this weekend, one that has been out, I think, for a week or two is a movie starting riots out west.
Oh, yeah, Set It Off.
Set It Off, that's it. It's 3 black women that are committing bank robberies.
Yeah, four black women who have been badly treated by the system. Each one has got a grievance. And therefore, the only way they can communicate their unrest and unhappiness is to rob banks. So it is actually causing unrest in the theaters.
Now, do you guys really think that a movie could cause unrest?
It has. Yeah, movies.
I mean, because things happen in the movies. Do you think it's the movie's fault?
Yeah, it's happened a couple of years ago. There were movies that were shown in L.A. theaters that were causing riots. I forget what movie that was.
Oh, it happens all the time. Anytime it's a gang-related movie, the gangs show up at the theater, and they're in the same theater at the same time, and they're
okay. I understand what you're saying, but does that mean that the movie started the gang fight?
No. The messenger is not the villain here.
Huh?
The messenger is
the
message.
So the movie didn't start the riots.
No.
It's because people showed up who were already
That's like saying when Ice-T does that Cop Killer song that he's doing something wrong. He's simply reporting what is actually happening on the street.
He's the black man. He's the black man CNN.
That's why the record label decided to dump him, huh?
Yeah. The record label was trying to suppress him. That's all.
Cop killer.
Yeah, it's a song. He's reporting what's happening on the street.
You know, you do think, and as white as you are, you believe you're a brother, don't you?
I believe that we all need to integrate. On every level. That's the problem. The rich white man is not integrating with the poor black.
What should the rich white man do?
You should listen to rap more often. Go to the gang-related movies.
Yeah, that's
gonna help.
I know. That's where I want to wind up. Paulo,
I saw New Jack.
What color do you think Jesus was?
I think if you look at the demography of the area, it's probably he was black.
Oh, wow. All right, Paulo,
or at least olive skin.
Do the movies. Review the movies that are coming out this weekend.
The big movie, I think, is Mirror Has Two Faces. It is
actually the big movie Space Jam.
I would have to differ. This is a Streisand.
In your face. In your two faces.
This is a Streisand event, first of all, and a huge chick movie. So
you're a huge chick.
Chicks will be en masse to see this movie. They'll be rushed to the theater. And of course,
Drake. No riot?
I think there's not. I think the
Jewish women rioting.
The men and the women might riot. There might be some. This might bring to the surface some of the underlying tensions between men and women.
Is the movie really sappy, boring?
It's well, okay. What happens is it's about a man, two professors. Jeff Bridges is a professor who has been so burned by sex, specifically Ellie McPherson.
Yeah, who burned him?
Has used him as a man, and so he wants to swear off sex, and so he finds an unattractive woman who is Barbara Streisand, who's another professor. And
that was easy for him.
And she accepts
lucky
him.
Search no more.
She accepts this as a woman who has a low self-esteem. She lives in this marriage with no sex, and then violently rebels.
So the two of them have sex.
No. She becomes sexy, and he goes nuts. And so it's very romantic.
Is it a comedy?
It's a comedy, but it has a lot of philosophy.
Dark comedy?
Not a dark comedy. It's a comedy of the heart, exactly. Because
it's her return to comedy.
Streisand has been through so much therapy, and I think finally she's getting to the heart of what's inside her.
I am so sick of hearing about her therapy. I adore her.
Thank you for the warning. I won't come close to this flick.
Does she sing People?
Is this the sequel to Princess Tides?
It's not a sequel to
everything she's in therapy. That whole cuckoo thing. Everything she's doing, she's laying on the couch telling you her problems.
And she sexes herself up in this film by the sex.
Does she really look sexy to you?
Sex it up, baby.
Oh man, I would be all over her, up and down.
Really?
I would.
Lee.
My mouth would start at the bottom and go to the top.
No one cares about
You're a film critic, okay?
Slobbering all over.
No,
you don't think Streisand's attractive?
No.
The Star is Born?
No, it does nothing for me.
Oh, I'd tear it up.
Oh, man.
Wouldn't get next to it. Space Jam.
Oh, Space Jam.
Tag teamer, why don't you?
Space Jam starts out as an NBA commercial worshiping Michael Jordan.
And Michael Jordan winds up in the cartoon.
And he winds up so it turns into a Looney Tune cartoon. Unfortunately, it has about as much joke as a 10-minute cartoon. So it kind of drags. It's not
incredible special effects.
They spent $80 million on this film, so the effects are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And
what a waste of money.
A good movie to take a kid to.
It's a good movie for a kid, absolutely.
Will they laugh?
I will say there's a great cast in here. It's Michael Jordan, Bill Murray, Wayne Knight, who's Newman on Seinfeld. But the big standout in this film is Daffy Duck. He has done a tremendous thing over the. I always think he's underappreciated. He's a
Daffy
genius.
Duck has done a tremendous thing.
Ever since Mel Blanc died, could they find people that could do these voices worse?
I know it's really bad. They never should let Mel die if they had to keep him alive on a respirator forever.
Mel, put some more down on tape.
I would like to show this in the ghetto, this movie, the Space Jam, and let the young black kids know we want you to be more like Michael Jordan.
Be more like Mike.
Be like Mike. Terry, you're on the air on the Ron and Ron Show. What's up?
Bone.
How bone, Terry?
I just want to make one point. It's very simple.
Okay.
The reason that black people have so much negative interaction with the police and are being busted for all these crimes is simple. They're the ones who are doing it. And it's as simple as that.
They're the ones who are doing it. You speak as a black man.
I'm a black police officer.
Oh, okay. And where?
So I'm a black police officer at that.
Okay.
And they're obvious about it. And if and it's just as simple as that. If you're doing a crime, you're going to get busted for the crime.
In the black community, are you seen somewhat as a traitor or?
Yeah, I interact with a lot of young black males out when I'm on the road, and
they treat me as if I am, you know, Uncle Tom or whatever.
Right.
Some of them, you know, they realize, yeah, I'm doing the dirt, and you know, you just got to catch me. And some of them are like, they don't even want to deal with me one way or the other.
And they'll commit blatant crimes in front of you, almost taunting you to bust them.
When you're riding around in a 1996 vehicle with gold all on, you know, real nice clothes, Tommy Hilfigers and all this, you don't have a job. And you got to wonder. You got to wonder. You know, you got to wonder. You got to talk to these guys. You got to wonder what they're doing.
And then when they're the accusations, and a lot of them are obviously merited when they're pulled over for driving a nice car. I mean, it happened to the coach of the Buccaneers, Tony Dungy, was pulled over, held for a long time just because he was driving a nice car.
Believe it, Dungy didn't earn that car.
They're not pulled over. They're not pulled over for driving a nice car. But see, a lot of times we get calls that send us to this type of person. Mm-hmm. And then when we get there, and this type of person, you know, there are white kids out there too who are doing the same thing.
No. Yeah, it's just somebody committing a crime. But you know, just to be honest, the majority of them are black, and as simple as that. If you got the majority of people who are black doing the crime, then guess what? The majority of people who get arrested are going to be black. What do you think? I mean, sorry, Terry. What do you think of these rioters?
I think it's just ridiculous. There's no sense to riot.
You love this guy, don't you, Ronnie?
All these rioters.
I love him.
He's a perfect black man.
If the rioters, listen, if the rioters would put the same amount of energy into taking these young black males off the streets doing this dirt, then there won't be no reason to riot.
All right, thanks a lot for the call, Terry.
All right.
See you, buddy.
To me, Ronnie, he's like
Uncle Tom.
Well, I would never say that. I don't use words like Uncle Tom.
Uh-huh.
He's Uncle Mike. Uncle Tom's illegitimate son.
Frank, you're on the air.
Hey, morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Frank.
Hey, I tend to agree with the gentleman that spoke previously, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a black male, right?
Okay.
And in my opinion, I believe that blacks account for 30% of their own worst problem. Because number one, there are a lot of black athletes, a lot of black millionaires in this country that have been given great opportunities.
Those I like.
Help strive and help their own people, like the Jewish people have done, like the Italians or some of the other groups in this country, right?
Frank, why can't you be more like Smokey Robinson?
Well, see, Smokey Robinson's a self-made man, you know, and he got to respect his own accomplishments.
He came from the ghetto?
You know, huh?
That's right. All you got to learn
from the ghetto?
All you folks got to learn
from the ghetto?
No, I'm saying Smokey.
But he learned to sing and dance for us.
Anything, but I mean, hard work and perseverance will bring you through anything, buddy.
Thank you, Frank.
If you learn to sing and dance for us, you will be greatly rewarded.
10 after. This is the Ron for basketball fans of all ages.
Yeah, there's MD.
Bill Murray funny?
Bill Murray is not as funny as he normally is.
How about Michael Jordan? How's he?
He's kind of stiff. I mean, I was surprised. I almost think he's almost a worse actor than Shaquille O'Neal.
No way.
He has one expression, which is sort of like, I'm better than you, but I'll try and be nice to you anyhow.
And that's him.
Jordan, look, everybody gives you.
Jordan and the Bulls won again. They beat the Miami Heat. They're now 8-0, and Michael's striving for that perfect season.
Only 52 more games, Mike.
And they can pull it off. Now, you'd like the Barbra Streisand, Jeff Bridges movie, The Mirror Has Two Faces.
I think this is a void in the marketplace that's going to be filmed by La Streisand. And
what?
You just don't see this kind of film anymore. She doesn't make that many films.
Why?
She's the one who can do it, and she's delivered in spades for the women of this country.
Hey,
is it First
we
Wives?
got riots going on, okay? You don't say spades.
Is it like First Wives Club?
It's in that vein.
All right, thanks. Trees Lounge.
Trees Lounge, great film. Steve Buscemi wrote, directed, and stars.
For those who don't know Steve Buscemi's background,
Mr.
go ahead.
Pink.
Of course, Mr. Pink and Reservoir Dogs, most primarily. One of the great, he works more than anybody in the business.
You want to name some of the other movies, or just...
well, he was most recently in that Kurt Russell Escape from L.A. movie. He's in so many movies, I can't even...
Maps to the Stars, Daddy.
Calm down.
Wasn't he the little hitman in Things to Do When You're Dead in Denver? Or...
Yeah, he was in, exactly. And that was a great...
Airhead.
That's the thing. He makes so many movies, and he's got that face that you can't forget. The slow eyes, the big bulging, emaciated look. Emaciated look. Right.
It's like we're sitting here with Steve Buscemi.
This film has a great cast as well, and it's actually a lot of things.
Low budget.
Very low budget. It's upstate New York. He's a mechanic out of work, and he basically lives up above a bar and spends the rest of the time in the bar all the time.
The Trees Lounge?
Trees Lounge. And it's just a slice of life. but it's a great film for alcoholics to see, and I did bring my wife to it.
And what do you think?
And I think it's going to turn her around.
She passed out.
Did you make her see, or did you take her to see Leaving Las Vegas?
No, she hasn't seen that yet.
She was a stunt woman.
Show her those two back to back.
She saw the one scene where he had all the liquor in the shopping cart, and she laughed and went and partied.
A lot of the liquor store scenes were shot in her home.
Has she still been partying hard?
She's partying, but she sounds committed that she's got a date.
Partying?
No, she's got a date now that's definitely...
What's the date?
The date, I think it's December 1st.
Let me finish this.
2004.
By December 1st, she will stop drinking?
Yeah, I did ask her if it was this millennium, but she said, this year, December 1st.
Right,
That's bad because it's eggnog season by that time.
You got a couple of weeks. 18 after. Donna, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning, Ron.
Hello, Donna.
How are you?
Good. What's up?
Well, I've been having a problem with the wonderful Pasco County situation up here. They arrested me for pulling a weapon on a gentleman that had been stalking me for a year and 3 months, and they knew all about.
Did he have a restraining order against him, and you reported him in the past?
I've reported in the past about 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And
why was he stalking you? Is he in love with you, or?
Pardon me?
Is he in love with you, or why was he stalking you?
There's a sincere possibility, but God hopes not. We were friends in the past, and his son started beating up on my 3-year-old daughter and my 5-year-old son, and the boy's like 4 years older than them, and takes Ritalin and in a behavioral class and all that, and told his parents in all good conscience he couldn't be around my children anymore. So the father went off the wall and just started calling me 20, 30 times a day, chasing my friends down in the car, and leaving mail in my mailbox.
Because you wouldn't let the kids play together?
Nope. I did for 7 years while my kids were growing up. So I guess it was 6 years because Davey was 6. And it just got crazy, all the incidences, the boy playing with lighters and knives.
All right, so what happened when you pulled the heater on him?
He went home. I sent the police down to his house because I called them. The kid beat up my son. I sent the police to his home. He started phoning me at my home. I hung up the phone. He came peeling up to my driveway in his van, running up to my door, and I stood in my house with a gun and told him to get off my property or I would shoot.
You didn't do anything wrong.
Well, I was arrested and went to Land O'Lakes jail 3 hours later.
The butter jail?
And for assault with a firearm. Charges were filed and pressed.
You need a lawyer. You need somebody like Jeffrey Feiger to represent you.
Well, I did have a lawyer, but what he got me was the pretrial intervention because I never had a record or anything like that. So I figured closure, let's just take it. I was wrong. I didn't know it was...
How are you wrong? You're in your house protecting yourself and somebody has a restraining order.
That's the question I have for you all. Do people know what their real rights are in their house? Because I don't think so. I think they are all as ignorant of the law as I was.
You never left the house with your gun?
Never left the house. And there was a gun lock on the trigger.
All right, hold on. This is something we can ask Jonathan about. Hold on, and Jeffrey is going to take some information from you, Jeff Appleoff. But if you're being stalked and you reported this guy stalking you, and there's a restraining order, and you're in your house protecting yourself, you've committed no crime.
Apparently she has, though, according to the cops and then the judge. The judge has to put the pre-trial thing, right?
Yeah. Actually, that's like a plea bargain situation.
Right. But doesn't the judge have to approve it?
Yes.
So the judge must have thought it was wrong, right?
Yeah, I guess a public defender or the lawyer will say, hey, look, we'd like PTI, pre-trial intervention, and the judge says, okay, you won't be charged. But if you think you're in the right, you got to fight that. You know, be plea bargaining down.
What I would like to do is get something for the kids to play nice. So the parents don't have to shoot each other.
Hey,
if you kids would get along, I wouldn't have to kill you.
Tom, you're on.
Ron, this is Tom. Hey, I had a truck stolen last night for me, a 92 red Chevy pickup.
Hot.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's my baby. It was stolen from West 50.
Now, wait, have you called the cops?
Yeah.
All right, I mean, we got our hands full. I know, we got our hands full here. Sorry, Tom, but we got a riot going on.
Well, Ronnie, we can't forget about the other crimes. This is what the master criminal thought of last night. When they were riding on the south side, he took off for the north side and robbed the Publix.
And got away with it, right?
Yeah, also put three people shot. 3 people shot, but I don't think it was a regular gun. Wasn't it like a pellet gun of some kind? He went around breaking people's skins.
So nobody was even really hurt?
Yeah, they all went to the hospital. Things sting. They could really...
And he got away with it.
And if they think it's an Olympic, it could turn into cancer.
Oh.
22 after Gary, you're on the air.
Mahabone running around.
Mahabone, man.
Wanted to tell you about hundreds of animals rioting in Tallahassee.
Okay, go ahead.
This is white fraternity boys after football games here. And
turning over cars, setting fires.
Turning cars upside down, harassing women, beating up people that wear different teams, colors and stuff like that. But they're the right colors, so they hardly ever get messed with.
That is acceptable behavior for young white boys that we think are getting an education.
Hooligans in soccer are similar.
Right, we have no problem with that. What does make us nervous is black people, unless they entertain us.
Hey, Shelley, you're on.
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Good.
I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but people keep making excuses for the kid that got shot. And I think that's what's wrong today is we make too many excuses for people. I mean, how many times do they let the child molesters keep roaming the streets? Oh, we've only molested 2 children. We'll let him back out.
No, has that statement ever been said by anybody?
Well, you know, I don't agree that death is the answer for him either, but what are we supposed to do? I mean, why did this kid put himself in that situation in the first place?
The kid was a criminal in a stolen car with a record, and he did try to run over the cop. The grand jury cleared that cop yesterday.
A white grand jury.
And that's why the riot started after that. The Black Uhuru movement may or may not have been behind this, but they were definitely prominently displaying themselves yesterday and also asked for or said we want the execution of these officers.
1-800-RUN-ARON. Basically, I think we agree on one thing.
What's that?
There are blacks that we like. That Fresh Prince did a wonderful job.
Paulo, as the man on the street, would you like to go into the neighborhood again today, 1 month after the original riot, Riot 1?
Yeah, I feel that I can do some good, perhaps integrate the neighborhood in some way.
If you could get a woman pregnant, would be great.
Grab a phone and talk to some people on the streets and see if maybe you can even talk to somebody from this Uhuru movement. We've had a gentleman on the air last week, or I don't know, maybe it was weeks ago, who was with the movement, got angry, and wouldn't continue.
And Paulo, don't worry, we have your riot gear ready.
What do you got?
A lady's wig, feather boa, and Hawaiian skirt.
I would not be able to go in such.
Why? You've done it before.
Just the wig.
I feel the wig is fine. Though I have a fine head of hair now.
The boa.
The boa is out.
You have a funny pair of shades that he could wear with the wig.
Yes, I do.
Crazy with the glass, with the eyes just sticking out and falling out.
Not that wacky. You know, slinky glass.
I thought I was going as a reporter.
You are.
Some kind of. In a way, I think it's probably even a better tactic, though, to just ignore the whole thing and it'll go away.
Paulo, last night, did you work?
No.
Oh, that would have been great to get the reaction of these inner city youth that you counseled.
Oh, I get the reaction every day.
And what do you think the reaction will be?
They hate every white man except me.
Do they feel like they're just hunted? That this society has nothing to offer them?
I think it's true, though. I think that, this society has been built by the Pilgrim Society and the Puritans from way back.
Stop. Jeffrey.
You mentioned we're Puritans, and I'm going to start going to sleep like it's 8th grade history.
Jeffrey, that guy, Steve, that's the cop who was beaten?
No.
No? Oh, okay. I thought we maybe could have one of the cops one was shot yesterday during the riots through the leg. Another cop was in a helicopter, police helicopter. That police helicopter was shot at and bullet grazed.
Well, they actually said he was shot in the sleeve.
Yeah.
The way I saw it on TV.
We'll get this other cop on when we come back from break. This is Ron and Ron Show on a Thursday morning, morning after riot number 2. Paulo will be heading into the neighborhood today to get a feeling of why this second riot happened. Well, it's obvious why, because the grand jury cleared the police officer for shooting the black motorist.
And Ronnie, I think Paulo is the type of person who's not only educated from college, but has that street education.
Yeah, he definitely is a street guy.
I'm a street guy and I'm a college guy. Two reporters.
You're comfortable wherever you go.
I feel comfortable in most places except a fine restaurant.
Sure. But that's because you eat with your fingers. It's not your fault.
You eat with your face, like you're eating out of a dog bowl. Hello, Steve?
Yeah.
Yes, you're on.
Mahabone, boys.
Mahabone.
I want to give you a heads up on a situation that happened in Pensacola at a popular nightclub.
Okay.
Doorman called the police because this guy was causing trouble. It was a young black guy. And the cop came down, and it ended up this guy beat this cop to a mess. His face was all puffed up.
Yeah.
And
So what's the problem?
I really don't know. I just heard that he was causing trouble down there, and the nightclub guy called the cops. Anyways, they went to court over it, and it was a black judge. All he did was fine this guy like $300.
What should he have done? Caused
Here comes the judge.
attempted murder, or maybe aggravated assault?
I mean, you would think it's a police officer, assault on a police officer or something, did some jail time or something, but I think it's just ridiculous that, you know, the judge said...
All right, so the system didn't work here because it was a black judge judging a white guy.
No, it was a black guy. It was, yeah. Well, the defendant was a black guy.
Yeah, and the cop was white. We understand that.
Will you be my lawyer?
It happens the other way.
They can't be counted on to judge themselves.
Hey, Lynn, you're on. Lynn?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, you're on.
Okay, it's not a point to be made, but this is a short story. 21-year-old black dude that I work with, his parents die. He gets a chunk of money, and he puts a lot of it up in CDs, and he decides he wants to splurge on a little thing, so he goes out and buys him a Beamer, all right? So you got this 21-year-old black guy riding around, cruising around in this Beamer.
Nice.
You have this white cop looking at this 21-year-old guy riding around in this Beamer, and first thing that this cop's thinking, he's doing nothing but cruising, all right? First thing he's thinking, drug. So he pulls him over, gets him out, and the dogs are called.
All right, let's get to the point.
The point is, the person that I'm working with, the little boy, he got so mad because he hadn't done anything, so he started verbally abusing this cop, which he called for backup, which one thing led to another. Now his Beamer is
you love that word, don't you?
For bond money.
Okay.
What was he charged with?
Being a black man in a white world.
Right, being a black man, probably in a Beamer. But
Beamer again.
Beamer one more time, and I'm going to run you over with a Beamer.
So the cops will know why we did it.
All right, you stand in front of a Beamer. I'm going to go 50 miles an hour and crush you.
She loved that car.
He had a Beamer.
I think she set him up so she could buy it at a police auction.
Buy what?
The Beamer.
1-800-RON-and-RON. I don't know, Ronnie, how many hundreds of years it's going to take for us to get together.
Ronnie, there's people fighting over religion. That's not going to stop. People fighting over skin tone.
We've got to.
It's not going to stop.
You know, maybe I'm crazy, but I think God wants us all to love each other.
Well, that's what God wants, but I don't know if that's what's going to happen.
You're not.
Hello, Bill, you're on the air.
I'm against murder.
What's up? Yo.
Hey, did you hear about the Nick Anderson being allegedly charged with rape?
Yeah, I guess it was sexual assault. He's denied the accusations, and he was in a press conference, right?
Oh, really? I haven't heard much on it. A friend of mine was telling me this morning.
Here's what's going on. Nick Anderson from the Orlando Magic appeared at a news conference yesterday to deny allegations he sexually assaulted an Orlando woman 8 months ago. And the woman said that this happened in February, and an investigation is going on. No charges have been filed.
I think it was that little penny puppet. He's naughty.
He's so funny.
Hysterical.
What's that little Nick?
Bad.
Nick says I didn't do it, and he's got his lawyer fighting the case.
You know, if it's true, Ronnie, here's a black man that we let into our living rooms.
Yeah?
It would really hurt him. Wouldn't it be bad?
Well, it would be bad if he sexually assaulted a woman, but not because he's either black or white, or we let him into our living room.
But, you know, these people...
What people are those?
The downtrodden, the dejected. We have tried to show them all white America wants is for you to entertain us. Don't tell us any of your political problems.
That's not right either. We need to hear. We need to hear what's going on.
Well, they tried to tell us in St. Pete.
No, that's a riot. That's not telling us. That's rioting. That's there's no reason for that. There's no need for that.
Oh, there's a message there.
Sure. I mean, do you think if there was a peaceful assembly that it would have been taken up all night's news?
Well, I think if you riot, you're going backwards.
Why?
Because you're not making any point. You're not making any sense. You're burning down your own community.
But here's what their point is, Ronnie.
What's their point? There's no point.
Hunting season is open on a black man.
The kid was a criminal, and he tried to run over a cop. A group that we've had on the air is going to get involved in this Nick Anderson situation. The Pan-African movement.
Nice.
Yeah, they are expected to present the woman's side of the story.
I don't want Nick to go back.
At 11 this morning. So they want retaliation.
And retribution.
They're on the woman's side?
Yeah.
Against Nick?
Yes, they are. They're on the woman's side.
Oh, Nicky.
Hello, Laura, you're on the air. Laura. Hello. Chuck, go ahead. You're on the air, Chuck.
I just had a question. Are you still trying to raise $20,000 for every African American?
That'll never happen.
It's going to cost more now, my friend, because we did not make the move when we were supposed to.
Okay, well, one question. Who would be eligible? How do we determine who's an African American? Is it by skin color, or eye color, or what?
Obviously, Nick Anderson's no longer included.
And who wants to go back? That's the other situation. This group that wants to repatriate back to Africa, they have never said what number, how many people want to join them. And I would say
it's got to be 100% if we're going to do anything.
It ain't going to be 100%. I wouldn't even think it would be anywhere near 1%.
It wouldn't be fair if we just sent some back and then the rest repopulate.
So we should force all to go back because this crazy group wants them to
I
move?
see you laughing, Fezzy. He's laughing behind your back, right? Like it's all a joke. Like our show is a joke to him.
Paulo, go ahead. Leave now. Take the cellular phone. Let's find out what's going on. Is it a laughing matter in the streets? Are people pissed? Are they fed up? Go into stores. Go into businesses. Go into homes.
I'm going to go into homes.
Okay.
Hopefully get some grits and...
now what do you say?
Stop.
What?
You said the word fatback, and I'm
breakfast time, and I enjoy grits.
And let everybody know you're unarmed.
I haven't eaten.
You're an unarmed transvestite.
Tell everyone that you're the Red Rooster from the WCW. Maybe you'll get something.
I'm just looking for some breakfast.
I come in peace. Let them know that immediately.
That's a beautiful wig, Miss Streisand.
Hello, Steve. You're on the air. Go ahead. Steve.
Yeah, hey.
Hey, man.
I'm just wondering how long it's going to take for us to wake up and realize that this kind of multicultural society is just not going to work.
Are you a separatist, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. So what should we do?
You just said how long it's going to be before we get along.
Right.
Well, we're not, and we've seen this for, how many hundreds of years?
So what is your answer?
The answer is make this country white again. Put the blacks in Africa where they belong, put the Mexicans in Mexico, and then maybe...
What about the Europeans in Europe?
This is a European country now.
Can't be empty.
No, this is America.
You can't just completely empty the country. This is...
Steve, you can't. Oh, we can only empty it of the people you don't like,
You
Steve.
have to draw the line
What about if we
somewhere.
emptied it of people like you, Steve?
Ronnie, you're being crazy. Steve, you've come up with an interesting point. You know, America is now part of Europe.
You empty this country, who's going to care for our pets?
Only Steve's people can stay. John
You should be
Juvio,
able to take your pets back to Africa.
our other film critic, is here this morning.
I have a
And
dingo dog. He would have to go to Australia.
What movie you want to review there, John?
I reviewed Space Jam.
Yeah, and did you think it was as bad as Paulo said?
Yes, it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's good for kids, but that's it.
Would you give it 2 thumbs up for a black man trying to do something for white America?
Without a doubt. No way, I would not.
Now, you saw Funeral, too, with Chris. We're after Connie. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hi, yeah, in response to the guy that was talking about sending the Europeans, not sending Europeans back to Europe because this was a European country.
Yeah.
Well, the Europeans can go back to Europe because originally the Native Americans were here.
Right.
Very smart, my new age friend.
But Connie,
He found the flaw in his plan.
Steve's separatist plan said Mexicans back to Mexico.
Right.
So they were here closer.
So far, so good. Go ahead.
They were here closer to America than the Europeans. Send the blacks back to Africa.
Uh-huh.
And the Europeans are the only ones that could stay because those are Steve's people.
Well, we can't live in an empty country.
No.
Of course, it's ridiculous.
Are we saying that the Greeks are part of Europe, or are we talking Northern Europe?
See, it depends how you want to do it. You can either say, if you want to go real Aryan, you say Northern Europe.
I would say Anglo-Saxon.
And then you would have only a country of Steves.
People who look and think like Steve.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes, you're on.
Yeah, man, I agree with the
That's your language. Hold
on.
You see, in my world, you would be arrested for making us hit the dump button.
All right,
Steve Land.
What Chris said was they're full of bull crap. You can't say the other word. Chris will wait for the delay system to come back up, then we'll put you back on. And I assume you're a black man? I can't let you answer
What
yet.
happens when you assume, Ronnie? Because he cursed.
No, because
he did not, because he wasn't able to get a thought across without saying crap.
That's not why I assumed that. I assumed it, and I assumed it because of his dialect.
Oh. What's dialect mean? Like lips or something?
No, like accent.
Oh. I got
Now,
you.
would that be...
I thought that meant that your lips were big.
No, not at all. That's the way you speak.
Let's see. Boo, boo, boo.
Well, he didn't say boo, 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 boo. He didn't speak like that. Hello, Chris?
Yeah.
All right, you can't use that word. Are you a black man?
Yeah, man.
Okay, where are you calling from?
In Clearwater.
All right, and you're sick of these punks.
Yeah. You see, these kids have been getting away with this foolishness every. You're gonna tell me that you're in front of a policeman with a gun and you
Chris,
run him over?
That sounds wonderful. We'd like you to live in the big house with us. You don't have to be a
He's not being an Uncle Tom. He's tired of it. Tired of it.
Yeah, hey, listen.
You ain't gonna chop no more wood, Chris.
You see that Uncle Tom foolishness?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a cover for their crimes. That's all it is.
That's right. Thank you, Chris.
But it's happened
Right.
Tom and Tom again.
Chris, get us mint juleps, would you?
Hello, Jeff. You're on the air.
They're delicious.
Jeff, you're on.
Yeah. I used to work for HRS in St. Petersburg, and I was a STD and AIDS investigator out there.
Uh-huh.
And I do my work out in the neighborhoods, and a cop came up to me one time and asked me what I was doing out there. So I showed him my health department ID and told him what I was doing, and, you know, he was going to leave me alone because I had a decent reason for being out there. But his attitude when I left was that I should just leave him out there, and that's exactly what he said.
To not help these people out?
Yeah, just leave the people with STDs and HIV out there on the streets to take each other out. That way. That happened to me twice, once in St. Petersburg and once in North Philadelphia.
And who was telling you this? Cops?
It was cops in St. Petersburg. Just some cop. I was out there doing my job.
You see that, Ronnie?
That's obviously
There is.
wrong.
And the cops are obviously wrong. I agree with you.
That cop. That one cop that talked to this guy. The cop that was cleared from the grand jury saved his own life.
Here's what I don't get. Why does every one of these cops need a mustache to look even more sinister and weird?
Key West butt tickler.
It's the trend. Hello, Bill, you're on.
Only for cops, though.
Hey, Mahabon, brother.
Mahabon, man.
Hey, I just want to make a comment about black people always talk about wanting to get along and wanting equality and stuff, but don't you think they're more racist than white people? They got their own black...
Yeah.
Got their own black beauty pageants.
Yeah.
All right.
They're the trouble.
I need you to sit by the lady who said the Indians were here first.
Hello, Wes, you're on.
Yeah, I wanted to comment about racism in schools.
Yes.
It's like our school used to be an all-white school until about a year ago when a couple families got fed up with it and asked
all right, so some blacks started going to school there. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I know a lot more who would come if they weren't as afraid of us because they think we're going to...
beat them up?
Yeah, that and pretty much...
Have you ever won a fight in your life, kid?
No.
That's our thing. I'm pretty sure there's no one of color afraid of you.
Thank you, Wes.
They're afraid of us because we're tough.
50 after, we will be talking to Paulo, who is cruising the neighborhoods where the uproar, where the disturbances took place last night after the grand jury acquitted the white officer.
Hey brother, you got the blues, 'cause the man's in town and you feel abused. You've been stopped and searched till it just ain't fair, as they search for crack in your underwear. White cops judge you on the color of your skin. Looks like it's time to fight back again. Brother, the whole town's in flames, and you know there's only one man left to blame. Evil white man. Evil white man. Evil white man. Evil white man.
Sums it all up right there.
That's a catchy little tune.
51 after. Denise has put together some nice tickets today. We'll do a round of Honky or Homeboy in a few minutes. We have football. We have a lot of concert tickets. Smashing Pumpkins, Stone Temple Pilots, Todd Rundgren.
The Runt is back.
The Runt is back, playing in Orlando at the Embassy. Sponge, also at the Embassy in Orlando. The World Tour of Gymnastics. Carrie Strug, was that the one that broke her ankle?
That's a little tiny one, right?
I think so, yeah. Arena, December 15th. And South Florida, Dolphins, Steelers, Panthers against the Islanders. And we also have Buck tickets for the Bay Area Bucks. We have the Lightning against the Kings, Smashing Pumpkins, and Stone Temple Pilots in Jacksonville. Jaguars against the Cincinnati Bengals. All of a sudden, 3 wins in a row after they got a new coach.
Right. Hey, did you see that the Panthers stock already went up? What did they issue at 10? Now it's
went up to a buck, yeah.
11.50 or something?
Yeah, I think it went up a buck yesterday.
There's no way to stop this. It's going through the roof.
Did you see the situation in San Francisco with the 49ers?
No, what exactly happened there? Oh, with the mayor?
Yeah, Mayor Willie Brown.
Good.
Was in, I think, Paris. He's trying to put a financial package together, I forget for what. And he was so pissed off at the 49er loss that he said the quarterback for the 49ers that relieved Steve Young, Elvis Grbac, was an embarrassment to humankind. for that bonehead intellectual play he made.
He said that he also would not back any new stadium deal that includes Gerback playing in it.
To actually pick out one play.
His quote was, "Well, I'm trying to get the French to invest in a new quarterback. This guy is an embarrassment to humankind." And then he was told that Elvis Gerback was not completely focused on the game because Elvis Gerback's kid had some kind of medical problem, serious medical problem. I think it was
spina
bifida, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And, you know, the kid was in surgery and going through all this treatment. So Gerback's, you know, not focused on that.
What did the mayor say when he heard about that?
At first, the mayor said, now, if he had a good reason, then if he had a good reason and he couldn't keep his mind on the game, he shouldn't even have been there. That was his initial response. He waited a couple of days, and then he started backpedaling and was apologizing to Elvis Gerback and saying, you know, these comments are uncalled for.
Yeah, I mean, a normal fan can say all those stupid things.
Not
but when you say it as the mayor, you know, you can't talk when you're drunk when you're the mayor.
I think that was it.
You'd have to be drunk. You lost money to be that angry.
Willie Brown, the mayor of San Francisco, was in Paris, and he said he was unaware of Gerback's personal problems involving his young son when he made the comments.
You know, a mayor's supposed to be like a cheerleader, not somebody who's saying, I won't back any deal that has Gerback in it.
And then,
crazy.
A couple of days later, after he realized his mistake, you know, after the jet lag and the booze wore off.
After he was told his mistake.
Right, after his speechwriter said, here, say this. I'm sorry, frankly, that Elvis went through that. I'm sorry that I caused Elvis any pain. I don't know whether or not he will accept the apology or whether he will forgive me or not, but I hope he will. I'm going to say a prayer for his son.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Your prayers aren't heard by anybody.
Willie, think. Think before you speak.
Everybody was a little upset by the way Gerback played. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I blame Steve Young for still running downfield at his age.
Steve Young,
after all of his injuries.
Yeah, that's that second concussion in 3 weeks.
Stay in the pocket, pal.
And Steve's counted, he says 8 concussions, and then his agent says he has more like 20 concussions in his career.
He can't remember all of them.
That many, and you run into a lot of trouble. Like Al Toon of the New York Jets had to retire.
Shaky?
Yeah,
shaky Al?
He was shaky. He couldn't keep his balance. Yeah, couldn't keep a thought. Troy Aikman was considering retiring. I guess he shook off the shakiness.
Well, all it takes is one more shot, maybe. Isn't it weird? One tackle, and that could be it for these guys.
And there's a quarterback. Is it Chandler, maybe? I'm not sure if it's Chandler or not.
Chandler Bing.
But he retired and now is considering a comeback. He sat out for a year.
Oh, he's
cobwebs have cleared.
Humankind.
When we come back, we'll do that game show. We'll do Honky or Homeboy, since we're dealing with the race issue.
Do you want to do it with the all-white racist grand jury?
And we'll also talk to Paula, who's in the streets of the neighborhood where the riots took place last night. It's 55.
See a honky or a homeboy, let me know. Would he say horse or would he say hoe? Would it just a butt or would it just a bull? Is he a honky or a homeboy?
Top of the hour, Honky or Homeboy here for your chance at those tickets. Pick your prize. We got NHL, NBA, and NFL, as well as a lot of concert tickets. Who's this?
This is Lance.
Here we go, buddy.
Okay, Officer James Knight.
Brother, Honky or Homeboy? Honky or Homeboy? All right, you have to be able to figure it out, so we'll just say to you, goodbye. Hello.
These are all names from the uprising?
All names from the riots.
From the revolution?
The riot. Hello.
Mahabone.
Mahabone, buddy. Officer James Knight is the first one.
Honky.
Okay.
There you go. Victim, Tyron Lewis.
Homeboy.
Oh, very easy.
Passenger, Eugene Young.
Homeboy.
Is absolutely right. Gave it away. Hang on. Jeffrey will take care of your tickets. Just let him know what you want. Tyron Lewis was the youth that was shot and killed, and the passenger has changed his testimony. First, he said
he was nervous
that he that the car wasn't going that fast, and he said, yeah, the officer was in danger. And he said he tried to have his friend Tyron Lewis stop, and he couldn't do it. So he just keeps changing up his story. Unreliable witness.
Because of his
testimony.
Oh.
Right.
I thought you meant his organ.
His organ?
Yes, Rennie, our largest organ is our skin.
No, not because of his skin. Because of his changing his testimony.
Why, here, almost the year 2000, are we still grading each other by the color of our organ?
It'll go on forever.
Why? You really don't believe it'll be better?
It has gone on. It's the beginning of time.
I don't believe that.
Were cavemen different colors?
Nope. They were all...
Hairy.
They were all hairy. Well, maybe if we grew more body hair.
Right, and you couldn't tell.
Doing the best I can.
I wonder when the first signs of racial
unrest.
Yeah. Noah?
His sons.
What about?
After they mocked him out,
When
he
there's
was
three
drunk.
different, and then they go 3 different paths.
And 3 different races.
Right, 3 different races. Yeah.
One black, one white, one Oriental. The Mod Squad type of a deal.
Yeah. The white one must have been the guy that covered Noah.
Yeah, he was the good son. Now, my whole problem with this, and I would just like to say to Black America, on behalf of Ronnie and the whole staff here, we are sorry.
No, for what?
For supporting
Let's get Paul on the line. No.
a racist regime.
No, it's not a racist regime. The kid was a criminal. The kid tried to kill the cop. He was not an innocent
He was a
kid.
good boy.
He was not a good boy.
He
He'd
could
been in
have
trouble
been.
with the law a lot. Sure, he could have been, but he chose not to be.
If instead of arresting him, they would have helped him somehow.
They've already arrested him and sent him to rehab many times. What else can you do for the kid? He was in a stolen car. He was
Maybe
speeding,
give
eluding
him a
police.
job. A good-paying job.
Yeah, let's just, for no reason, throw this kid into a high-paying position after he's proven he's
What about advertising?
What about it? What would
That looks easy.
Come to St. Pete.
Paulo.
Yes,
And be shot like me.
Oh, don't say that.
Paulo, where are you?
I'm just driving past the Tropicana Fields, a monument to orange juice that's been tainted by this unrest.
What a picture.
Is that where the police headquarters has been set up again, just like riot number 1?
Right, it's right down the block from there.
Let me ask this. Why don't we use the police station as headquarters anymore?
It's right next to Tropicana Field.
Oh.
So now I'm almost at 18th Street Avenue South.
All right, go right to where the disturbances were last night. And were they at the same exact intersection as a month ago?
No, I think they were a little further south.
They're all within about 5 blocks of each other, all of the disturbances, except those smart criminals that go to the other areas because, where the cops aren't. Because
Do you see any smoke still, or do you smell any smoke? Any evidence of fire still burning?
No, I just see school children with their knapsacks waiting for school buses that will bring them to white schools, and that this is what we're looking for, integration and busing.
All right, can you come up? Can you talk to anybody on the street now?
Not right now. I'm still surveying.
Nobody underage, by the way, Paul.
Yeah, no kids.
I'm surveying the terrain right now. I should.
Terrain?
Oh, here I am. I am at 18th Avenue South, right?
All right, well, get out. Park the car and get out, and let's talk to some people. Find out what's going on, the feeling.
Don't lose that phone.
I see a school bus driver. Let's see.
I know. How many times have I got to tell you? Forget the kids, forget the bus, okay?
Okay, I don't...
Thank you.
This is not about busing.
All right.
Go into a home or into a business.
All right, I'm trying to, but I'm having trouble holding the phone and steering
Holding?
Holding the phone and steering the wheel at the same time.
Steer with your knees.
That's how that young boy was shot, Tyron.
All right, I'm going to try and get across the street, maybe make it a legal crossing section here. Okay, here we go.
We need to get you darker window tinting.
I feel like I'm in his stupid head.
Oh, I really banged up my car there for a second. Okay.
What you hit?
Did you hit something?
If it's a child.
You come here for a second. I'm just trying to get some. I do. He's got to get down on the curb.
He's been in a car wreck.
Hi, how you doing? I'm a reporter with Ron and Ron, sir. How are things in the area right now? Everything. Very good right now.
Ask him if he saw any of the riots. And
did you see any rioting at all?
No, I didn't see none at all. I was down that way. I see the helicopter land here.
Hey, Paulo?
Yeah.
Ask if he would like to say anything to Tyron's family.
Would you like to say anything to Tyron's family? Huh? Would you like to say anything to Tyron Lewis's family, the victim who was shot?
Oh, no, not really.
all right, what about anything to the white officer who was cleared?
I just jumped out the white fellow was shot yesterday.
Yeah. Well, not the white fellow, the original victim, the black man who was shot originally.
Oh, shot originally?
Forget it, Paulo. Jesus.
Grady!
All right, Paulo, go to a home.
Get away from Grady.
Go to another location and call in with another report, because right now you are making no sense. Thank you, Paulo.
Yeah, somebody shot.
Hello.
Damn.
Originally.
I'd just like to say in the bottom of my heart, we're really sorry.
Karen, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
I grew up down there in South St. Pete. I went to Lakewood High School. And I only remember one instance of anything like this going on when I grew up. When I was at 16th Street Middle School, there was some kind of a riot. But I don't understand why these people go around burning their own neighborhoods. It doesn't make any sense.
That's not for us to understand. It's for us to apologize.
It makes no sense. We don't need to apologize. Those rioters are burning their own buildings. 16th Street Middle School. We used to play basketball there all the time. No trouble.
Those days are over, my friend.
This was as recent as a year ago.
Those days are over.
Boy, did you get left back.
I see. So you're making like a little joke like you went to that school.
Oh.
I see what you're doing, Fess.
I'm there.
Hey,
you're
Vinny.
tricking everybody.
Vinny, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Ron?
What's up?
Yeah, I'm just calling about the riot, man. I think it's real ridiculous, you know. I'm from West Philadelphia, and when that happened over there with Move, they put the bomb right on the house over there. I mean, to the cops, everybody's got to take charge of this. And so
you thought it was a positive thing when they bombed the neighborhood?
What's that?
You thought it was positive when they bombed Move?
Well, I mean, they were making a mess. People were getting hurt over there, you know? I mean...
That bombing of Move, that completely removed that movement, right? They were gone after that.
As well as the neighborhood, Ronnie. You know how many innocent houses were burned up?
I don't know. How many people died in Move?
The whole square block. Every house. It was a row house
But
they
now
bombed.
they all got brand new houses over there. They got all reimbursed. The other houses that they got millions of dollars.
And Move was a huge problem in Philadelphia, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a huge problem.
Would you compare Move to the Uhuru movement now?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm comparing it because, you know, the cops got to take charge. SWAT teams or the cops, but, you know, they got to take charge of this.
All right, let's talk to a Florida cop. Thanks, Vinny.
Let me tell you something, Ronnie. You can't compare anything that Move group. Those guys are nasty, man.
What was their goal?
All their last name was Africa.
I know that.
They were like Kevorkian type. I mean, not Kevorkian, Koresh types, right? It was like a religious thing.
Were they killing people?
Yeah. They wouldn't shower. They wouldn't, you know, blah, blah, blah. Then had guns everywhere. When they fought the cops, they came running out, holding their own kids in front of them.
That's right. Okay.
I'll never forget that.
Hello, Mark.
But they were right. Don't get me wrong.
You're on, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. You're a cop in Florida.
Yeah, something came out in the first riot that really didn't get broadcast too much. Do you know that a black man that night was shot in the head by another black man in that very area?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Allegedly.
Nobody... Yeah, a burglary was taking place at that time, and this black fella came out and saw some other black fellas breaking into his car, and somebody took the victim there took a bullet in the head, and notice our media didn't do...
No, that was never mentioned. Now, glad you did. Where are you a cop, Mark?
I can't tell you.
Oh, they can never tell.
I can't tell you where I work either.
All right. 1-800-RON-and-RON is our toll-free number. And we'll check back with Paul in a little bit. And we've been waiting for Jeffrey Feiger, the attorney for Kevorkian, and now the attorney in the Jenny Jones talk show murder case. Has Feiger not called? What's up?
Feiger hasn't called. I spoke with his secretary, and she apologized. He's not in court. She thinks that she gave him the wrong time zone, which was a central time zone, so he should be calling at 8:15.
All right. Jeffrey Feiger's been on the air with us many times before and passionate about Kevorkian. I'm sure he's going to feel the same way about this next case he's representing.
This time, I think he's trying to sue the show, right? And
yeah, he's representing the family, the family of victim Scott Amador, who was shot during the taping of the Jenny Jones show.
I could win that case.
That's a lock. It's the Ron and Ron Show, and we're back quarter after on a Thursday morning. We'll get back to our reporter on the scene with this riot situation that went on again last night, twice, and now in a month.
This is really sad, Ronnie, and I think that we have a situation where those people no longer feel like they're part of this community anymore.
And the rioters.
The people rebelling? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what
rioters, or are you calling them something else?
I'm just saying what they say, and they call it a rebellion.
Well, it was a riot. They're setting fires. They shot cops, the rioters. Two cops were shot last night. One in the leg, and the other one, just his sleeve got hit. But that guy was in a police helicopter.
Yeah,
the police helicopter was shot at. Rocks thrown, bottles.
Yeah, and we had how many more people? Another 3 people, I think, besides that shot.
Yeah, people who were just driving through the neighborhood were shot. We'll get to that again with our on-the-scene reporter, Paulo. Right now, we're going to Judge Judy from New York City, who was a family court judge and has weekday half-hour syndicated reality courtroom show. Judge Judy's on the air on the Ron and Ron Show. Judge Judy?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Judge Judy.
Love your show.
Thank you.
Just saw it for the first time a couple of days ago, and I understand you have a new book out, too.
The new book is called Don't Pee on My Leg and Tell Me It's Raining.
You know, it's amazing that we just were sitting here, well, very close to the riot area, and I was reading through your book about the way you feel about people who think they've been victims and take it out aggressively.
That use that as their reason for committing crimes.
You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
That's very simplistic, but you're not supposed to do it. if you have a gripe, you're supposed to take your gripe out in a lawful fashion. I mean, I listened to a little bit of what you were saying, and I haven't heard the news yet this morning, but it sounds to me as if there are a lot of people out there who are taking out frustrations in an unlawful fashion and hurting other innocent people. That's unacceptable.
Judge Judy, if you were presiding over a case where these people, these rioters, were brought to trial, would you, if they were convicted, if they were definitely guilty of setting fires and shooting and looting, would you feel right about giving them time?
Absolutely. That's not unacceptable.
That's not an excuse.
It's not an acceptable way of venting your anger.
Now, Judge, and you know, reading your book, I'm sure I would not be able to sit on that bench and stomach some of the terrible things that you see as far as abuse and family problems.
Court, yeah.
Yeah. But you also really don't believe in rehabilitation in prison?
No. I believe that rehabilitation doesn't work the way we're doing it. I mean, we know that it doesn't work because the recidivism rate is about 75%. So that means 75% of the people that go into prisons with all of the rehabilitative programs that we have in the prisons come back, and when they come back to their communities, they commit further crimes and they go back to jail. So it's not that I don't believe in it, it just doesn't work.
Doesn't work at all.
They're going to be repeat offenders. There's these guys that are molesting kids. They're getting out. They're doing it again. Finally, I guess there's some new laws where these people are identified. Their homes are identified, right?
That's right. It's called community notification. And it at least tells people that when a convicted sex offender is released, where they're living so that you can protect your children.
Judy, I'm sure there were many times that you just wanted to come across that bench and just strangle some of these criminals.
Well, there were, but you don't do that.
Right. He has to stay in the law too.
On the street.
Right. Now, you also don't believe in parole.
I don't believe in early parole. I don't believe that when you're sentenced to 15 years in prison, that as soon as you walk in the door of the prison, you get a third off of your sentence just for walking in the door. I think that if you're going to get time off for good behavior, it has to be good behavior. And you earn that while you're there. But I know in New York, a third of the time is lopped off as soon as you put on the uniform and sleep in the bed the first day.
And normally they'll knock off another, quarter of your sentence for some other reason, right? You only end up doing 40% of your time?
That's just about right.
Now, Judge, is there any way, I mean, I don't care if you're liberal or conservative, I don't think you think that the system's working. How are we going to get some control back? What can we do?
Well, you have to vote. You have to make sure that you follow the people who are running for elected office and make sure that their philosophies are consistent with yours, whatever it is, whether you are a liberal or a conservative or a moderate. You have to make sure that the people who represent you are, A, representing what you think, and if they're not, you have to see to it that in the next 2 years or 4 years, you give them their walking papers and they go someplace else. That's the orderly way of registering your discontent, not being out there setting fires and shooting people.
Judge Judy, how did you go from being a family court judge to having a television show? Who approached you, or was it your idea?
Well, it wasn't my idea, and I was approached by some folks who saw a piece that was done on 60 Minutes a few years ago. And they just called and said, how would you like to do what you do on television? Well, I thought that was an adventure. And quite frankly, I never thought that anything would come of it, so I said, of course. And then it just sort of mushroomed from there.
So you're comfortable on TV now?
Very comfortable.
You're great on TV. You know, Judge Judy is so nice but firm. It's a no-nonsense courtroom.
Tough judge.
You know, but I see her with, there's like elderly people that show up in her courtroom and they have trouble getting their point across. She has the patience of Job with these people, but, doesn't let anyone ramble.
I think you would have done a good job.
Like I just did.
Really?
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Judge Ito, it seemed like he let that thing get out of control with O.J.
Somebody's got to be in control of a courtroom.
But he was not.
I always felt more comfortable when it was the judge in charge of the courtroom.
Yeah.
Not the lawyers, not defendants, not the litigants, because it's the only way that it moves along swiftly. You don't have the luxury. Court time is very expensive time. Every hour of court time is expensive.
You know, when I was like about 15 or 16, I ended up in family court, and this judge scared the hell out of me. And I always think about him, because I think I never want to end up in front of this guy again. He's serious.
It worked.
I'm just a little baby. I'm going to lay on the ground here until he stops, and I never went back.
That's what's supposed to happen. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen often enough.
Judge Judy, when criminals come up and they have been in front of you before, they are terrified, right? Do they think you're the hanging judge?
I've heard that.
Some people, but there is a certain guy, and I knew guys that grew up with like this, who can take, you want to send me to prison? Fine, I can take it. Those are the scariest guys. You know what I mean? They don't care what happens to them.
There's a percentage of the criminal population who are not going to be touched, irrespective of what you do. You're never going to get them to turn around. They have sociopathic tendencies that have been reinforced, and you're never going to get them to change.
And they got to stay locked up.
That's what has to happen.
All right, let's take some questions here for Judge Judy. 1-800-RON-and-RON is the toll-free number. Charlie, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Judge Judy, I was just hearing you talking about...
I can't hear Charlie.
You don't believe in rehabilitating criminals.
Yeah.
Don't you think that just keeps the system going? I mean, these guys will get out, go back, get out, go back.
Let's let her answer. Judge Judy, what Charlie said is you don't believe in rehabilitating criminals, so how are we going to take care of the problem? They're going to get out and keep doing what they're doing.
Well, it's not that I don't believe in rehabilitating them. I don't believe that what we've been doing works. There's a big difference. And what you have to do, in my opinion, is the first time kids come into the criminal justice system, because that's when it starts, when they're teenagers, when they're kids, you have to make sure that they have the same kind of negative experience that you had, which was, I never want to go back there.
Instead of just making a mockery out of it and thinking, this judge is going to do nothing to me.
Nothing's going to happen to me. I can continue to do what I do, and there is no consequence.
Are you for the death penalty, Judge Judy?
I am. Is that direct enough?
Yes,
I think it is.
And it's not beating around the bush.
It gets to the point.
Let's go to Kelly.
Family court?
Kelly, you have a question for Judge Judy?
Yeah, I wanted to know what she thought about the Jeremy Scott's case, because I also believe in what she's saying about the death penalty, and there is no rehabilitation for these criminals.
All right, what case are you talking about, Kelly?
The Jeremy Scott that killed that little girl last year.
All right, Judge Judy, the Jeremy Scott case?
About people who hurt children or kill children, Judge Judy. You must see this kind of stuff all the time.
Well, I hear about it. I mean, sitting in family court, I have had very few cases of kids, juvenile delinquents, who have killed children. I can't think of one. I mean, they usually kill people in the course of robberies, and those are usually adults. But when Polly Klass's murderer was sentenced to death, I think that was appropriate.
And when he turned to that father and gave the finger and blew kisses,
then you knew for sure it was appropriate.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, Judge Judy, all the family court stuff, how much of it is alcohol and drug related?
A lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
I mean, what are we going to do about that in this country?
I don't know.
All right, we got to take some questions here for Judge Judy. Do one more segment with her after we come back.